how do you do, everybody? Today I want to show you my build here at the Mechanist Lair. I've gone with a Brotherhood of Steel playthrough, and it kind of bothered me how they have access to so many suits of T60 power armor, and you don't ever see any of them wearing T51 or the T45B, and so I thought I'd give them a lore reason as to how they have so many T60 suits of power armor. Alright, so here we are at the entrance. You definitely know this is Brotherhood of Steel settlement with all the banners and signs. I have my light on here, it's quite dark, but go ahead and turn it off for a moment. So as you can see, it's protected. The area is protected by the Brotherhood of Steel. Criminals will be arrested. Filth will be exterminated. So you come out through the double doors here into the receiving area. Watch out, the doors will close automatically. So here in the receiving area we have a smaller armory, but definitely some firepower in there. Got some Gatling lasers and some miniguns. Yep. And this would be the area where you check in. I imagine not too many people have appointments down here, but perhaps you're a high-ranking officer coming for an inspection. This is a restricted area though for most people. Right here we have a scrap or a junk loot receiver. You load the junk in there. So basically, in my head lore, I imagine the Brotherhood of Steel, they pay. Well, I like to think they're too good to go out and scavenge on their own, and so they pay certain caravans to bring in their highest end salvage and scrap. Pay them in caps and perhaps rations or other resources. There's a sign right here. It's kind of hard to see. Someone put the word trader over the sickbay sign, so that says traders. Trust me. And all technology must be surrendered. Just a friendly reminder of the caravans dropping off their scrap. And then it's carried away down the conveyor belt. Plenty of walls and security fencing to conceal where it's off to. Got extra ammo. Confidential case file. Could be a secret order. Maybe a top secret request for power armor upgrade. So, as well as a receiving area, I've created an advanced power armor workshop and kind of storing area. So I imagine that high-ranking Brotherhood of Steel officials will bring in their power armors to get more advanced upgrades, maybe even some prototype upgrades. We do have looks like an XO1 suit of power armor. It would be one of the Paladins power armor we're storing down here. I like to think of this as kind of a storing and maintenance center for power armor. I compare it to some of those garages that really rich people, they store their really high-end sports cars. They keep them in there for over the winter, or if the car is in a location they don't live, they pay tons of money to keep them stored in climate controlled garages where they're maintained. So I imagine that's what this is, but for the Brotherhood. And then Elder Maxon's personal suit of power armor right here. I also want to take note of all the pipes and the the support beams, all placed by me. So obviously, the Mechanist Lair isn't just a small power armor workshop. I built this area and it's enclosed by 2 secure gates and a giant garage door to conceal the fact that this is, if I can hit the button here, switch rather, the Brotherhood of Steel T60 power armor manufacturing plant. This factory goes up 5 stories of conveyor belts and machinery. Here we manufacture the T60 power armor. We also manufacture energy weapons, so laser and plasma weapons, and then we also manufacture fusion cores, so that way we can keep the power armor at a consistent charge. So I think first and foremost, let's see how the conveyor belt system works. So we're gonna head on over to the elevator here. Squeeze past all this. So we're gonna go to the 3rd floor. All right. Come on. Uh-oh. There we go. Alright. So we're entering the control room area. Down here on the lower floor of the control room, I have this sort of kind of pimp my ride style power armor garage. I like to think the foreman or the leader of the I guess the commander of the factory here likes to let the workers come and upgrade their personal power armors on their downtime. Considering the factory is completely automated, I'm sure there's a lot of downtime. So everybody knows the cool hot rod, the black and red flame power armor. This one is really cool. It's like a Viper, an old Viper racing stripe. Very cool. Plenty of little details. I like to keep the power grid mostly on one generator. So I have this one, but then I have a couple more up there connected to this one as we needed as much power as we could get. But I have the entire conduit system connected here. So all these conduits are controlling the entire factory. So let's go up to the control system. I just want to show you how crazy it got a little out of hand. So you come on up here, and then this is the factory's main control room, right up here. So I'm using these fantastic custom terminals from a mod. Let me tell you the name of the mod. I have it. It's called, the author is MDE0815. It's called Mostly Colorful and Modular Hodgepodge and Other Stuff. In that mod, there aren't only terminals, there's tons of other objects you can build. You can make custom vehicles, you can make custom bunkers. It's such a cool mod, such a fantastic mod. If y'all are interested, check that out. So we have our control terminals here, and then more control terminals. So I figured let's start off by showing you how it works here. So I have a guide. Some of this may look familiar to you. I definitely took a lot of inspiration from Ranger Dave, or General Dave as he's known in his Fallout game. Excellent channel. He really got me into Fallout back when it first came out. Oh geez, like 8 or 9 years ago almost. I believe, was it 2015? Someone do the math. But I definitely fashioned my terminal system and electrical grid like he did. So I have a guide right here. Each switch is numbered. So depending on which combination you input, that will determine what will be built. So let's go down. Let me go back to the receiving area down at the bottom here. Just gonna come through here, so I don't wanna move too fast. Come on, door. Oh, there we go. I want to make y'all dizzy. As you can see, the FPS is it's struggling quite a bit here. So we're gonna go back down to the receiving area where the caravans the Brotherhood of Steel employs drops off their junk. Go ahead and load it up here. So the junk is loaded in and it's on its way. Come back through here. Don't want to go too fast. Kind of follow along on its journey. See if we can get a good view. Oh yeah. Oh, telephone's getting a little clogged up. So it comes down through here, following the conveyor belt, and then it goes up the elevator right here. Oh man, a whole stack of telephones there. So I just gotta come this way. There we go. So it goes through the conveyor belt, and then in this machine it breaks down each junk item into its basic components. So those are copper bars right there. I have a mod that changes those, makes them look like the gold bars from the Dead Money DLC of New Vegas. So then you can see it down below here. And then that'll take it up this elevator here, where looks like there's a bit of another clog right there. So then it goes up that elevator and then continues up this elevator. So that'll take us to the 4th floor. Or no, excuse me. This is the 4th floor right here. And then once again up the 3rd elevator. And then come over here. And then finally to this hopper where we designate what we want to build. Let's run back to the control room and build something. Alright. So these switches right here, they control the bumpers. What would you call them? The diversion bumpers, I guess. So it can direct where the components will go. And then the conveyor belts feed those components into the manufacturing machines. So let's say we want to let's build some fusion cores first of all. So for that we need to just turn switch A1 on and then B1 off. It looks like A1 is already on. Oh, and then B1's already off. So right off the bat, it's headed to the fusion core manufacturing plant. Let me make sure it's on here. Get that activated. We're going to click on fusion cores. And then these are the components required: nuclear material, plastic, circuitry, and copper. Go ahead and click that. I don't want to move too fast. And here we are. There's the components being fed into the fusion core manufacturer. And then brand new fusion cores are being built. So we'll follow the conveyor belt system a little more. So the conveyor belt system comes down here, the fusion cores. They drop down into that hopper there. That'll put us on the third level, so come on down here. So this is the hopper it was dropping down to. They come out of there, like that. And they keep following the conveyor belt along up into this elevator here. Direct your attention over here. And they come out of the elevator. And then they follow this conveyor belt where they drop down into this final machine here. This machine is basically the workshop inventory. So anything that enters that machine goes into the workshop inventory. So that's the path to make fusion cores. I mentioned we make energy weapons. Let's make some plasma rifles. So for weapons, we're going to turn switch A1 and B1 on. So A1 is on right now. Let's go to B1 here. Okay, we're in the terminal now, so now we're going to go to the energy weapon forge control. And then let's do plasma guns starting out. Here we have the plasma forge machine already going. Let's take a look at the path it takes. So from the main resource hopper, you see the gates, they divert and go down this hopper. And then diverts once again, instead of going into the fusion core one, diverts down this path. And the components fall down in there. And then you can kind of see them going through there. They come up this elevator, to which this elevator leads straight into the weapons forge. I think the fusion cores are still going. There's some leftover components in there, still going. And then the plasma rifles follow this pathway down, and then they go down quite a steep drop. Let me jump down there. That'd be going to the third level again. And they'll actually take us to the second level. So they come down that large ramp and very gently smash into the wall there. Think of it as a stress test. If the gun doesn't survive the fall, then it's not Brotherhood quality, not Brotherhood worthy. Here we are. There we go. Oh, yeah, that was totally great, totally gentle. So then it goes down there, and then that'll take us to the first floor once again. Come over here. We'll sneak past a couple of our robots here. And then, as you can see, comes down this ramp. Give it a moment. Usually the guns, they take just slightly longer to forge. Come on. Huh. Maybe they're done. Maybe the machine ran out of components there. Oh well. So the guns would then follow this conveyor belt here. And then this also goes into the workshop inventory. Huh, that's troubling there. More guns are coming out. Oh well. Alright, let's head back up. And then we'll show you how T60 power armor is made. And I found the source of why the guns weren't coming out. It looks like it's a bit of a jam here. I get that fixed. So now we're up here to manufacture power armor. Both switch A1 and B1 need to be powered off. So we're going to hit B1 and A1. We'll hop in here. Then for this one, we're going to go with the full armor forge control. The power armor forge, there's a bit of a bug where it'll only manufacture one piece of power armor. As in, you can choose which piece you want to manufacture. You can choose whether you want to manufacture a helmet or a left arm, something like that. But for some reason, it'll only manufacture the chest piece. I can't choose a different piece of armor. So I got a mod right here. The full armor forge control will manufacture the entire set of power armor. It's definitely not balanced at all because they're not very expensive to create and it creates a lot. But for demonstration purposes, we'll go with this. So I'm going to do full armor forge. You can also manufacture other armors, leather armor, combat armor, that kind of thing. But as the T60 power armor is Brotherhood standard, we'll go ahead and click that. Here are the components. We have circuitry, steel, adhesive, aluminum, and plastic. And then let's make our way over to the power armor forge. So I'm gonna come on over here. And then take us to the fifth floor. I call this the fifth floor, but it's just scaffolding. As you can see right here, the components are coming out, and the diversion gates have been reset to default, so the components are going to go straight. And then this is the power armor forge right up here. And then there it goes. I had to do a lot of caging right here because they pop out so fast, they were just falling everywhere, so I had to put a lot of guards and cages up here. I also need to be careful too because they are manufactured. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, apologies. Due to classic modded Bethesda, had a slight crash. Anyway, where were we? Okay, so right here, the power armor forge. It's manufacturing each armor piece, and then I'm gonna follow this down here. It's gonna take us to the second floor here. As you can see, they slowly come down. We need to have one of our factory workers watching this at all times because since the armor comes out at such a quick rate, it gets clogged up pretty easily on the conveyor belt. So I imagine we have a Brotherhood initiate down here with a long stick or a broom, just knocking or moving the pieces so it doesn't get clogged up. So the armors, they keep continuing down here around this pillar, and then they go into the workshop inventory. And then if you haven't noticed, this right here is the top of the receiving area / power armor maintenance garage. I'm gonna go turn off the power armor forge just so it doesn't get too clogged up, but we'll keep the fusion core one going. So that's basically how the conveyor belt system and the electrical grid works here in the factory. Continuing on, we have the emergency kill switch for the entire facility. So once this switch is hit, let's say in the event of an emergency, say someone falls into a hopper, or perhaps even an enemy faction infiltrates and invades the place, the workers will come up here, they hit the emergency kill switch, turns off all the power to the machines and the lights, but I have a system set up with one of these connector, what would you call these switches right here. When the power is cut, power is drawn to this conduit system right here, which will then turn on the warning defensive spotlights as well as keep these hazard lights going. So you have a bunch of spotlights throughout the facility as well as the hazard lights, and then all the machines are turned off. Nothing, conveyor belts are all off, nothing's moving anymore. Alright, we'll run back here and turn everything back on. It is quite dark in here once all the main lights are off, but I imagine every Brotherhood, every Brotherhood soldier and every Brotherhood factory worker are issued standard issued flashlights. So can't forget that. Come on in here, and then let's flip the emergency power back on, and then everything turns back on. So we have just a small little communication area with the ham radio. This way we can communicate with the surface or the Pridwin, just in case they have a special order, and then the monitors to monitor the facility. I have an intercom system. This way they can speak to the workers down in the receiving area as well as the foreman's quarters. Plenty of coffee to stay awake. I imagine they kind of lose their sense of time down here because they're not in the sun, so I have a clock just in case. Let's move out this way. And I want to bring your attention towards all the supports. I've made sure nothing is floating, or if it is floating, it's floating in an immersive way. See, this isn't quite connected to the pillar, but it's connected to the ceiling, and then all these I-beams are holding up these supports, and these metal posts are holding up what I imagine are holding up the conveyor belts. All this scaffolding was placed by me, and then of course these giant elevators that are supported by more I-beams and mesh catwalks. Plenty of platforms to catch things that fall off. I try my best to put up all these security fences and platforms to catch anything that falls, but for some reason stuff will get through. Like, see, there's a little what is that? Little jar of oil, it looks like. Oh yeah, there's some more components back there. Yeah, anything that has even a little bit of a drop, I tried to put security fencing all around, but of course none of that is floating. I have plenty of posts holding things up. Made it really difficult building in here because I have the Workshop Plus mod, which allows you to fly while you build, kind of like no clipping. And I can't fly straight up because there's so many things in my way, so made it a little bit difficult. Just made sure everything just looks sturdy and supported. Come on over here, we have the barracks. This is for the soldiers or the workers that stay here. These Brotherhood walls, really well done retexture. The retextures, I believe these walls they're both in the Pridwin, and then they also are on the Brotherhood of Steel barricades outside the airport. It also retextures the entire airport as well. I just love how they look. Imposing Brotherhood of Steel orange. Come on in here. This was my power armor once I became the Sentinel. As you can see, I have the rank right there, and then the jetpack mod. I don't typically use this power armor anymore. My main power armor set is I believe. Ooh, I believe it's actually in Far Harbor with old Longfellow on his at his cabin, so gotta go get that soon. I do have a backup generator just for the barracks, so if we were to cut the emergency power, everything would turn off except for all the lights here in the barracks. Come on in here. I've got giant doors sealing up the inner area of the Mechanist lair. I don't know why they don't let you close them. Come on in here. So here's the barracks. I figured, I mean, the Brotherhood of Steel, it's a militaristic faction, so I can't imagine they keep too many personal possessions. So I tried to make this as, you know, bare bones militaristic as possible. You know, the only things they'll ever need to fit in their oh my goodness, how come I just forgot what those are called? The footlocker. Oh my goodness, I just forgot. The footlocker, and then the duffel bags. So typically I have 5 soldiers stationed here. It was a bit buggy with them, so in my lore I sent them to have the day off. They they got to go topside and enjoy the sun for a day during the tour. Of course, though, they gotta be a little bit entertained. Can't have them go too crazy. And then we have just a very basic restroom in here. Military style open toilets. I mean, we're all friends. It's cool. And then, oh, quite the dirty shower. They better get that clean soon. And then, oh, a hand dryer. Just basic restrooms. Come on in here. Then we have the officers only quarters right here. This would be the foreman's, or I guess they were mine for a while. I lived at this settlement as kind of my main settlement for a while, so I left a lot of my stuff here. I used the Brotherhood of Steel capsule pieces from the Thematic and Practical mod. It's such a fantastic mod. I love how unique these capsule doors and pieces are. Such a great mod, and of course we have the red and black rug to match the flag, and it just feels, it's pretty minimalistic, but I think it's pretty classy in here. Got a nice cigar smoking chair. Only smoke cigars in that chair. That's the only thing you can do. Got a is that dry bar? Is that what it's called? Brotherhood of Steel pistol right there. 9mm Beretta. Got a couple of safes right here, and then a Brotherhood issue super huge cool minigun. In this safe right here, see, I've got some gold bars in there. And then, yeah, see, this is one of my armors. I do apologize again, folks. Another classic CTD. I am not sure why it's crashing so much. I've never had this many. Usually it doesn't crash here at all. Anyway, so I have my Sentinel chest piece. I'm wearing a different one right now. I'm wearing my heavy gunner chest piece outfit, of course with the Sentinel ranking on my arm there, and then of course heavy ordnance on my back just in case. Got the intercom. Oh, hop over here. Got the intercom for communicating with the control room over there, and then the receiving area. And this power armor here, this is the oh my goodness, what is it called? Let me tell you. I had to turn on the UI for that. The equalizer power armor, that's right. I'm not super familiar with it. I believe it's from Fallout 76, but to me it looks a lot like Frank Horrigan's power armor from Fallout 2. So any Fallout 2 fans be familiar with that. A minimalist but nice, organized looking bookshelf. I really like the black wood and texture. It really matches with the theme of the room. Alright, let's continue on out. That's the barracks and the foreman's quarters. See if I can get out of here. So then you come on down this way. You know what? Well, let's show you a better view of the equalizer power armor. Here we are. Ooh, such a cool power armor. In the Brotherhood of Steel red. And then I put a light attached to an I-beam just so people know who they're dealing with. I left a lot of the original scaffolding that was here, or not scaffolding, the catwalks that was here originally when you fight the Mechanist. Any of these, the ones with the solid floor were already here, whereas the one with the mesh, I placed that, so I just connected all of them. And this is another good viewing point for the armor conveyor belt as well as the fusion core. Oh, sorry. Fusion core conveyor belt. So let's make our way back over here. Come on down this way. I didn't do much in this area. I don't think you can, if I remember right. This is the vanilla area. And I believe the Mechanist is over there. Oh yeah, there she is. Come on over here. And turn this way. So over here we have the break room or the mess area. It's definitely not up to Brotherhood standards in terms of cleanliness, so they will receive demerits. I mentioned Ranger Dave earlier, or General Dave rather. He's a huge inspiration to me when it comes to Fallout settlement building. In fact, this settlement is direct inspiration from him. He built a Minuteman themed weapons factory or gear factory for his playthrough. He's just such an amazing settlement builder. So it's called Ranger Dave. You should check out his videos. It's a well-stocked kitchen. I mean, they've got good food. Got some fresh produce there. I imagine perhaps a caravan brought that in with the scavenged items. Yeah, just a nice, really dirty table and chairs. Got some extra chairs. And actually have plumbing down here. Good sink right there. Come on over here. We have these power armor bays. So basically these sets of power armor are in the end stages of the manufacturing process. So these guys are getting their final touch-ups and they're just about to be sent off to the Prudwin. As you can see, we store them in the armor bays here. They're all on pallets and they're numbered. Got 1 through 6, and then this guy right here, he's on a pallet ready to be loaded up by the forklift. And yeah, just a nice, simple workshop. We'll do the final assembly of the armor. I imagine we'll polish it up, get it ready to be sent off. And right here are the blueprints for the T60 power armor. With the blueprints, this allowed the Brotherhood of Steel to actually mass produce these suits of power armor. Proctor Ingram and many of the other scribes were able to develop these blueprints, which then in turn allowed us to build these. So come on over here. Got some extra shipments. It looks like these are just about ready to head out. And then here's our robot workbench. We have a couple robots down here. It's a nice good setup for them. And then obviously here's where we build them. See what I mean? These are silver bars dropped from somewhere. I couldn't even tell you where. To get someone to clean those up. Come over this way. I also want to bring to your attention all the conduit on the ground. Just a lot of conduit on the ground and going up the walls just to power the place. Had a lot of fun creating paths for that. Come over this way. Got some crates, extra equipment, got some nuclear material we better discard soon. Conduit. This area right here, in my mind, I like to think the power armor frames are being manufactured further within the factory. So once they are built, then they come out on this conveyor belt, to which one of the workers will hop in it and walk along here. If there needs to be any tune-ups, they'll tune it real quick, and then they'll make their way over to the final assembly bay over there. Get one more look at that. And you come on over here. And then this is where they fine-tune and assemble some of the laser weapons. Let's say it looks like they just finished an order of the Gatling lasers. I imagine some of them were requested or special ordered with some configurations. So as the Gatling lasers were coming through the conveyor belt, they grabbed them off the assembly line and then brought them here, tuning them up or adding some, new sights, something like that. Looks like got some more guns ready to be sent out. Have another robot workbench, or excuse me, weapons workbench right here. And then looks like they have some Brotherhood issued service rifles they're maybe gonna start issuing soon. Oh, got another shipment ready to go out. Yeah, it looks like there's brand new T60 power armor helmets. Alright. This place does hold a darker secret, though. With all this armor being built, all these weapons being built, it implies the Brotherhood may be trying to establish a permanent foothold within the Commonwealth. And with the current equipment they have now, it could prove to be a little difficult, especially with the Prydwen, as it's not really for fighting, it's more transporting. I mean, if you shot at that thing, it's basically a hydrogen bomb, so it's definitely not fit for fighting. So the Brotherhood of Steel with this factory are going to try to establish a more permanent foothold in the Commonwealth, but that also comes with its challenges. And so in order to do that, they have something else in mind. And bring your attention over here. The Brotherhood of Steel, they want to flex their might. They want to show the Commonwealth that they're not to be messed with, and people need to stay out of their way. So you hit the button there and it opens up the garage. So the Brotherhood of Steel have something more sinister planned. They're going for an invasion. Alright. So also one other thing, this place is not what it seems to be. So if you come on in here, of course this is outside the build area. If you come over here, so I mentioned with the equalizer power armor, it reminds me of Frank Horrigan from Fallout 2. And for those of you who haven't played Fallout 2, Frank Horrigan, I would say he's the primary antagonist. He's definitely an antagonist in the game, but he's a force to be reckoned with. He's basically a science experiment created by the Enclave, and he's a super intelligent behemoth that had power armor fused to his body to keep him alive. From years of torment and experimenting, this is what the Enclave have created. A completely 100% loyal, absolute super soldier behemoth. And I was telling you, the equalizer power armor reminds me of that. Well, a certain Brotherhood of Steel higher up has heard about the Brotherhood of Steel's West Coast chapter and the dealings with the Enclave, and maybe heard some legends and tales of Frank Horrigan. And with the unlimited resources here at the factory, it gave him some ideas. So if we make our way over here, we push the secret button. And then you come down into here. And coming down the hatch, we find one of our Brotherhood scientists has been doing some sick and twisted experimenting, trying to replicate and create his own super soldier, his own Frank Horrigan. Well, that concludes the tour of my Brotherhood of Steel T60 Power Armor Factory Manufacturing Plant Mechanist Lair settlement. Please, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I absolutely love settlement building, and I have quite a few more settlements I've built. If you want me to tour those, just let me know. But yeah, I appreciate your time, and I hope you take care. Bye-bye.